the power of acceptance. Find balance between sitting up tall but remaining relaxed. Feel into the width of your chest as you soften your shoulders down and back. Rest your hands with your palms facing up on your thighs or in any way that is comfortable for you. Gently close your eyes and gaze down to the ground ahead of you. Breathe in and out through your nose in a normal way, without trying to control the breath. Simply let it come and go in a natural way. Now try to balance your awareness between three main spheres of mindfulness: your body, your breath, and the mind itself. Stay present right here with all three. Present, aware, open, spacious. Notice what's present here with you. Notice if there's any sensation arising in your body, or any energy that you can sense through your breath. Maybe a movement, emotion, or a habitual thought in the mind. Whatever it is that you notice, welcome it with a spacious mind. Allow it to be. Don't try to change it. Don't chase it. And don't push it away. Can you remain still and spacious in your awareness as you accept what is rising up right now? This is how things are right here and right now. Simply notice how it is and let it go. Recall that acceptance is spacious, non-judgmental, and unattached. To accept is not an endorsement. To accept is not an opinion. To accept, simply to recognize, to notice. Acceptance is mindfulness and awareness of reality as it is. Practice in this way for a few moments. Notice and let go. This is how things are right here, right now. Notice how it is and accept it. Remind yourself that all things, this will also change. In your acceptance, you give what it is that you notice the freedom to change. When you and reality are no longer battling reality, no longer has to defend itself. Thanks to your acceptance, there can be softening, there can be movement, there can be change. So what about now? What's present with you right here, right now? Accept all sensations arising in your body. Welcome them in. Give them space. Give them freedom. Sense the whole body, the breath, and the mind itself opening into the freedom of acceptance. Nothing needs to be different right now. This is how it is. And from the spaciousness of acceptance, tap into the wisdom that acceptance provides. From the spaciousness of acceptance, from this awareness of things as they are, let's practice in the silence for a few more moments. And whenever you're ready, open your eyes and smile.
Well, some of you are smiling. The lady said smile. Thank you, Jenny. That was so sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, we are heavy on this side. I will not forget you, I promise. Oh. So I did not know that there was something that was actually called Loving Day. And it's celebrated each year on June 12th. I always thought that February 14th was Loving Day. But Loving Day actually commemorates the landmark 1967 U.S. Supreme Court decision, Loving versus Virginia, which struck down laws banning interracial marriages in the United States, 1967. So the case centered on Mildred Jeter, a Black and Native American woman, and Richard Loving, a white man, who married in Washington, D.C. to avoid Virginia's anti-miscegenation laws. After they returned home from their wedding, they were arrested and convicted and forced to leave the state for 25 years. The Lovings didn't seek the spotlight. They simply wanted to live as husband and wife in their hometown. But their quiet courage became a catalyst for change. With the help of the ACLU, their case reached the Supreme Court, which ruled unanimously that marriage is a fundamental right and that restricting on the base of race is unconstitutional. So Loving Day then is more than just a legal anniversary. It's a celebration of love's power to overcome prejudice. It's really sad. So one of my neighbors was helping trim a tree, and I had this talk already done, and I'm speaking about the word prejudice, and I don't remember what the conversation was as we were trimming this out-of-shape evergreen, which is still out of shape. But he said something about, I don't like to pay for something or pay for anything for the Indians. And I thought, oh my God, this is one of my neighbors that's heavily, heavily involved in one of the very, very Christian churches in the area. And to say that in 2026, and yet they knock this church. It upsets me. It truly upsets me, the prejudice that is underlying and still there amongst so many of our friends. It's just upsetting. So Loving Day reminds us then that love is not bound by law, race, or social convention. It's this force of divine wholeness that recognizes itself in one another. You know, Jenny came in today, and all that I saw was love personified. It just, from the doorway, that's what I saw. And that's what we need to see as we look at one another, love personified. Richard and Mildred Loving revealed a sacred truth that love, when honored and protected, has the power to dissolve fear and dramatic injustices and awaken deeply unity among us all. So spiritually, this day calls us to know the presence of the divine, and that's what Jenny was speaking about in the reading this morning. The divine is in every relationship, and it's formed for mutual respect and authentic connection. I would rather have this small group of authentic connection that I can call friend than to have 2,000 friends out there that don't even know authentically who I am. Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah, right? Of course it does. So when we honor love, we honor the divine or the sacred. So when we protect the right to love freely, we move closer to a world then where justice is not a courtroom verdict, but a lived reality for all. And we're still there fighting that. And in my own personal opinion, we've taken steps backwards instead of forwards, but that's a personal opinion. Love recognizes no barriers. It jumps hurdles. It leaps fences. It penetrates walls to arrive at a destination that's full of hope, hope for all of us. So the legacy then, the legacy of loving, reminds us that love is the most powerful force for justice, and love will win because love is taking a stand right now throughout our country. And when love takes a stand for justice and equality, then we have it. We have it. So Rumi tells us, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself or within ourselves that you have built against it. So what within ourselves is holding us back from letting go of all prejudice that stops love in our world? That person's cheap, that person is this, that person is that person's black, that person's orange, that person's pink with purple polka dots. When do we let go of that and like love do its work, love with a capital L, do its work within us and for us, for all of us, right? You know the song, I want to know where love is. The old song goes, I want you to show me. But that lyric misses the mark, in my humble opinion, because no single person can simply show you or tell you what love means. If we are fortunate, we catch early glimpses of it through our parents and our teachers and our friends, right? Ultimately, though, love is not an academic lesson. It's a profound truth we must discover for ourselves and then be guided by our own hearts and souls. When we ask the question, are we able to let love be present in the uncomfortable and the good? Can love be present in the uncomfortable and the good, right? It challenges us then to recognize that the divine impelling love isn't solely for joyous moments. Oh, wait a minute, then what does that mean? Because within chaos, because within crisis, within death, within accidents, love with a capital L is always there. And when we can understand that and stay centered no matter what is going on around us, we're understanding the sacredness of the word love. Love is the very existence of reality, the fundamental fabric of our existence. All there is love, right? It must be by our nature, then by our nature to let that love come through and shine through. Be present in all experience, the joyous, and then the things that happen along this pathway, this journey called life. So be present in all experience, even those that we label, but this is uncomfortable. Of course, I understand. Many uncomfortable things have been in my life, but to stay centered. You know, one of the first things I learned in my first teaching was go to God, go to center, go to that which was in. And, you know, that took a while. Go to center. You know, explain that to me a little more. Let me understand that. But it's that stepping back in that one moment of crisis. And that breath. Okay, go to center. Go to that which is sacred. This is still happening around me, but go to that which is sacred. Go to that which is sacred, right? So this expanded awareness of love doesn't deny difficulty. Out there, they think we're Pollyanna. We're perfect, whole, and complete. That was 1980s. We're perfect, whole, and complete. We're not Pollyanna. We accept all that is. Yes, this arm is broken. And I didn't have to do something to deserve it. But what I know is that I have the power within me to heal it quickly. That's all. Annie Horson, who's not here today, who had her knee operated on. But within weeks, she was walking because all the while she had this prayer circle within here in her own prayer circle that were sending healing light and love. And Annie knew that as quickly as I can, within my health, within my being, this will heal better than the doctors think it will. And it did. So that's what it means to still be centered and still have things happening in your life. This expanded awareness doesn't deny difficulty. Instead, it aligns us with life itself, and it reveals that deeper current beneath the surface of circumstances, right? Embracing truth, that means consciously choosing to see underlying divine givingness of all of who we are in every situation. Joyous, uncomfortable, happy, celebrating, sad, in all situations. So this practice then allows us to transcend mere emotional reactions, which can often be fleeting, reactive, and instead we engage with life from a place of understanding universal love. It empowers us. It empowers us to find the power and presence, knowing that love is a constant. The sacred is a constant, unwavering. It's an unwavering truth of our being with the world all around us. There's an ancient word for this teaching, and it's called janenai, and the meaning is universal love. It's impartial, inclusive, concern for all people. It's from the ancient Chinese philosophy associated with the teacher Mozai. And from the Zhen part, inclusive, combined all, embracing, and from the E part, love, care, affection, ancient Chinese philosophy. That which I'm bringing to you is nothing new. I search back to find the beginning of time to say that this is the way the world is supposed to be. This is ancient Chinese philosophy. And this teacher, he talks about love widening beyond preferences. It's not sentimental affection for everyone, but an active commitment to regard each life as worthy of care. And that is what the universe is not doing. We're not honoring life. Otherwise, we wouldn't be killing so many people across the land. We're not honoring. I know everybody in here is. I get that. And I understand that. But the universal humanity right now is not honoring all life, or we wouldn't be doing senseless killing. So what this teaching then from the ancient Chinese philosophy is telling us, it says it invites the soul into a larger circle of belonging, larger than us. That's why when I say when we leave here, as you leave here today, bring that which you are, the high consciousness, the loving, the light work beings that you are, and I'm asking you to bring that out there, because it's up to us to be a part of circling that, where self-love and others, and it arises from the same sacred recognition. Every life belongs within this whole of who we are, and everyone in all of the world deserves the right to be loved, to be cared for. I bring this to you, for you, to realize that the ancients can teach us more than we know about life and love. So much wisdom is missing from this teaching, practical Christianity, the Jewish tradition, the Catholic churches. So much is missing from what the ancients can teach us. They teach us more about life and love. So Loving Day reminds us that love is not just something we feel privately, it's something we can publicly honor. Publicly honor. So Richard and Mildred Loving did not set out to become symbolic. They simply wanted the freedom to live the truth of their love. And that is where love becomes more than sentiment. Love is spiritual force that says what is whole in the eyes of the divine, the sacred, what is whole in the eyes of the divine and the sacred must not be divided by fear, prejudice, or law. In our minds, we know that. In our hearts, we know that. Yet when we're faced with it, what do? We side with this or we side with that. And what we need to side with is love and bring it together in the circle that it belongs. In his book, Christian Healing, Unity Movement co-founder Charles Fillmore, he provided this definite quote on cosmic, non-romantic love. And this is what he said: love in the divine mind is the idea of universal unity. And that's what I'm speaking about today. Universal unity for our world. You know, I know somebody called me and said, "Are you so affected by these storms?" And I said, no, somehow we're in this little bit of circle of protection in Sheboygan and Sheboygan Falls, and we usually get the tail end of it. We don't get the full force. So we're in this bubble. And our lives are pretty protective. And most of us don't know criminals and bad people, and we're not affected by drugs. Whoa, that's great. That's great. And a lot of us in New Thought don't listen to the news and don't read the paper. And that's okay too. Except there's a lot of bad things going out there, and our love can heal them. So he goes on to say, love in divine love is the ideal universal unity. In expression, love is the power that joins and binds in divine harmony the universe and everything in it. This is our teacher. This is what our teacher is saying to us. This is what Fillmore is telling us. So he goes on to say, to distinguish this cosmic force from human emotion or romantic attachment, he adds structural context. God is the force, not an individual. God is the force. The sacred is the force within us that has to move us forward to be the peace as we leave here. We have great coffee hours and we have great food and we laugh and we have fun. But do we take that out that door? That's what I want you to do. Take the goodness that's within here and take it out there and let it radiate for 7 days until you come back here. Fillmore famously noted that universal love is omnipresent principle rather than personal feelings, and that's the same thing the ancients are teaching us. It's not about personal feelings. It's about universal. It's about seeing someone walk through that door and saying, whoa, that's the embodiment of love. Wow. And that is truth. I speak truth about that today. According to Fillmore, God does not love anybody. Whoa, what did I just say? God does not love anybody. God is the love in everybody and everything. God does not love anybody because God is androgynous. God is the love in everybody and everything. God in me is me within me. God within me is me as me. God does not love anybody. God is the love in everybody and everything. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, good. So when Stephen Colbert of The Late Show was asked about a plane crash that killed his father and 2 of his brothers when he was 10 years old, Colbert said, "Of course I don't want to have that happen. But it is a gift to exist, and within existence comes suffering. If you are grateful," he said, "for your life, then you have to be grateful for all of it. You can't pick and choose what you're grateful for. I had to learn to love the thing that I most wished had not happened." Wow, that is powerful. I had to learn to love the thing that I most wished had not happened. Wow. And Ernest Holmes, our fellow teacher, said, "The essence of love, while exclusive, pervades everything, fires the heart, stimulates the emotions, renews the soul, and proclaims the spirit." He says, "Only love knows love. Only love knows only love." Words cannot express its depth or meaning. A universal sense alone bears witness to the divine fact. God is love, love is God. What is God? Love. What is love? God. That's how you answer that question. And I love this story. A young man named Nasreddin planted a flower garden. But when the flowers came up, so did a great crop of dandelions among them. Wishing to eliminate the unwanted guests, Nasreddin consulted the gardeners near and far, but no solution worked. Finally, he traveled to the palace of the sheik to seek wisdom from the royal gardener. But alas, Nasreddin had already tried all the methods the kind old man recommended to him for eradicating the troublesome weeds. Silently, they sat together for a very, very long time. At last, the royal gardener looked at Nasreddin and he said, "Well, the only thing I can suggest is that you learn to love him." This shift in perspective from resisting an unwanting reality to embracing it lies at the very heart of human growth. Jim Blake, CEO of Unity Worldwide Headquarters, applies this exact wisdom to our internal landscape, noting that wholeness is the ability to see what we like in ourselves, as well as those things we consider imperfect, and embrace them as one beautiful work in progress. Seeing ourselves whole means loving ourselves fully, including those things we perceive to be flaws. This doesn't mean we won't strive for growth or improvement, but rather as we're doing so, we accept perfect, what Jenny was saying in her meditation. We accept and love ourselves as we are and where we are right now. So in the end, this is the profound truth of universal love. It demands that we accept reality as it is now, holding space, what you said in your meditation, holding space for monumental growth. So Valentine's Day celebrates the idea of romance, but June 12th, Loving Day, commemorates the gritty beauty of reality, the love fighting for its right to exist. The Lovings didn't look to change the world. They just wanted to be husband and wife. Yet by accepting their love, finally refusing to hide it, they shattered America's anti-miscegenation laws. Universal love means accepting ourselves and our situation right now, recognize that our perceived imperfections are often the exact seeds needed for revolutionary growth. So I say to you, my beloveds, plant seeds only of love. Thank you.